Hello reception class, it's Mr. Dice here again. I just got to say how wonderfully you worked last time on all that beautiful pattern work you were doing using the tip of your finger. And we're going to carry on with that work today, and it's going to be finger painting, and we're going to use all of those things we learnt from last week, which was pushing our finger in hard by adding paint right onto the paper, and by doing it lots of times you get lots and lots of prints, but they get slightly lighter as you go along. So we're going to use the same way of working, but we're going to use colour this time. And the reason we're going to make colour is because we're going to do a picture of a beautiful garden in France that has a beautiful Japanese bridge that goes across, and beautiful water lilies in the water that runs under the bridge. And it was painted by a Frenchman called Monet, and it was a picture of his garden. I'm just going to show you the picture now so you won't see my face. And here's the picture. So there's the bridge. You can see the bridge going across, and behind the bridge there's all sorts of trees, and by the side of the water there's beautiful plants, and all through the water is beautiful lily pads of all different colours. So you can only just see the water peeking through. And I'm going to show you how to, it's not going to be exactly the same, but I'm going to show you how you can make a beautiful picture just using your fingers. And again, we've got the bridge, and I'll show you how to do that. And we've got the water lilies in the water and the trees behind. So it's quite simple and straightforward, and I, without further ado, will show you what to do. So I've got two palettes or saucers or places to put my paint. Because most of the colours are going to be on the top, different sorts of greens. I've got a dark green, a light green, and a green that comes in the middle. I've also got a little bit of purple, which I'll show you how that fits in later. I've also got my piece of paper, which has got absolutely nothing on it at all. And the size of the paper it's a normal piece of paper that you'd have in your printer, and it's folded in half, so that's half the size. And we're going to do it what's called landscape wise. So the longer side is at the top and the shorter sides are at the side. And the difference this week is that before, when we put our paint on the paper, we were being very careful about where we were putting it. We started in the middle and went round and round. This time we're not going to have to be too careful at all, and I'll show you what I mean. We're going to, if you remember, all of the trees were at the top part of the paper, so I'll show you the top part. I'm going to dip my finger into one of the paints, and all I'm going to do is just dot it round like so, and I can keep printing. If I push harder I get a print, and in fact I can take some paint off of some of the prints I've done, and that's all I want you to do. I'm going to take another colour, the lighter green, and I'm going to print with that. This time I'm trying to look at the spaces that I've got between the ones that I've already put down. And you can see it's quite nice because I'm not being too careful, and I'm going over prints I've already just done. And that, because the paint's still wet, I'm going on to my third colour now. Because the paint's still wet, I can get mixing of those colours. So all you need is a little bit of patience here to get all of that done. And as I say, you can just keep printing with that one finger, and as long as you've got something coming out, and as I say, if you press hard when you've got very little paint left on your finger. I'm going to put a little bit of purple in now. I don't want too much purple, but that's going to make it much darker. And then I'm going to go over the purple with some green. So here it goes. So I'm going over the purple with the green. So I've got a darker place there. And then all I do is to fill up. Can you notice I'm not going down on the bottom of the paper? I'm just filling in the top bits. And you can leave some little white bits in between, but have fun doing that. Now, what we're going to do is the next thing is I'm going to do the greens and the grasses that come along the sides. So I'm just going to put some green coming down to the sides, to the corners like this, like so. And then, to make it easier for myself, I'm going to turn the paper around so I'm not blotting all of those ones that I've got there. Now, I've done it very quickly, but you can just, when you come back to look at yours, see if you can got little spaces that you can fill up. Now, on the bottom, I'm going to move to this part now. And I've got blues, reds, yellows, a little bit more purple, and the white. So I'm just going to now do very quickly, and you can see how quickly I'm doing it. I'm going back to pick up. You don't need to make a big banging noise with this, but you can do it quite quickly because we're going to cover up most of these things. This is just the water that's going to run under the bridge, and we're going to put the water lilies and things on top of that. Now, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit more in, like so. And then it's got some red. So I'm going to put some red, and these are sort of parts of the water lilies, and they come across like this. Can you see how quickly I'm going? I'm not doing like we did before, which was really carefully. I'm going quite quickly, but I'm still being quite light. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in, and yellow around the outsides, and that was from some of the plants that are there. But you can make where you want to put the colours. And then I'm going to put white for the water lilies. And because, as I said before, this paint is still wet, those water lilies will blend in, will mix with the other colours that are there. So what you're doing is really you're mixing colours as you go. And I'm going to put a little bit of yellow up in the green by where that purple was. Only a little tiny bit, and a little bit of white through like so. Until I've got, let's turn it around this way, I've got this like so. And I might put, I've got a bit too much red there, so I'm going to just put some yellow on it, and you can see that the yellow will mix in, and I'm going to put some more white on. So what I've done, I've taken out some of that yellow. So what you're going to do is to fill that page, the green at the top, then the blue, and then some of the rushes, oh that's the red colour, and the white colour for the water lilies, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of purple on top of some of those water lilies. I'm just using my tips, very tips of my finger, almost my fingernails, to do that. It's just a tiny bit on top of the white. Now that's everything apart from the bridge. Now your next job is to leave this to dry. So you have to leave it to dry, and then to get, if I just show you again the one I did before, the bridge shape, I've got a special little thing for you. It's called a stencil. So what you're going to do, you're going to take one of my stencils. I'm just going to move this out of the way a minute. Pop that down on the carpet. I have to get this right now, because here we are. This is the water at the bottom, and the bridge is going to go over the top of the water. Now the stencil is a cutout of the bridge. So when I paint across this, the paint will go through here, and through here, and through these bits. So I'm going to carefully put the stencil down where I want it to go. And then your teacher will probably have a little bit of masking tape so they can stick that down carefully for you, and then you can peel it back off again. Now, as all good things, I've got one that I've started already. So you can see I've got this one, and there's a little bit of tape that's holding it on so I can do it carefully, and I've done some of the white already. So I'm going to take, I've only got a little bit of white left. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to paint, but I'm going to do it this way. Normally I say don't use a paintbrush like this, but this time I'm going to say use a paintbrush like this, so that it goes, can you see what's happening when I push it down? The brush is spreading out, and I'm not brushing it, I'm sort of doing this so that it fills in the gaps. It's called stenciling. And then when your teacher helps you to take off your paper, that piece and this piece, and then we take off the stencil that we've done, we just peel that off like so, and then we can see the beginnings of our bridge. And then I've done one thing, I'm run out of white paint now, but I'm gonna do it in slightly yellowy. And if you can see here, I've just got little dots, and that's where the bridge is held up by that bit of wood. So I'm just going to brush now along there. I might do it in this light green actually, so you can see this is the holds the handrail of the bridge to the bottom of the bridge. Really this should be in white, but because I've run out, doesn't matter, you could have a green bridge if you wanted. In fact, I think that looks quite nice now. So there we are, that's the work that you're going to be doing, but you have to be a little bit patient with it because we have to let it dry, and then we put the bridge on later on. So I'll get all the things for your teachers that you need, and you can do that, and that's going to look lovely for your art exhibition. So thank you for listening so hard and so well, and I'm coming into school to see all the beautiful results that you've made. Okay, bye-bye.